Hello and welcome to the second March update from Dean Park Station. Not a long update this one. I've got 2 or 3 things that I'm working on kind of at the one time, so visual progress isn't great, but I thought I would just bring you up to speed on what I've actually been attempting to do on the layout. I'm kind of working on kind of 2 or 3 fronts at the moment, and I've also got a couple of new additions for the layout that I'd like to kind of do a quick review on to show you what I've kind of been buying this month. Okay, what you can see here is that I have now fitted the overhead masts all the way along, and what I've also done is I've added in the cable trunking all the way along to the signal box. This is the 10 Commandments stuff that I use for the rest of the layout, and it's used up quite a bit just on this one side. I think I got a £10 mega pack in Model Rail Scotland. I bought 2 of those, and I've used pretty much all of the straight long sections that you get, and if you see the one with the lid, if you like, missing from one of them, that's the short section, and I've got a lot of them left, but I've used up all the longer lengths. I suppose that gets you to buy more, but I'll just use the shorter lengths and put the caps in place so they're not all lying off. So I'll get extra mileage out of the packs, but I'll still need maybe another 2 or 3 packs to get round the layout, so it's another 20 or 30 quid, and he only does those packs it shows, so I'll just wait till the next time I'm at an exhibition and I'll just pick up another couple of bags. These are just primed and painted with Precision Paints concrete, new concrete. Their weathered concrete is practically just a grey primer, so I go for the new stuff. And once you've got all your ballast in place and a bit of track weathering, airbrushing, it tends to dull them down a little bit, if that's what you want, of course. So yeah, that's all done. The back scenes are down just now. I'll show you what I've been doing with them in a minute. Some movement on those. I've got the overheads marked out but not in place on the raised section, and I think it was last month's video and the video before that I was waiting on the Tillig super elevation foam to arrive, and I'm glad to say it's finally arrived. So I've been getting busy with this. None of this has been trimmed etc yet. That just shows what I've been up to. I've laid the 3 tracks from about the Mark III there all the way around, and it's the first 2, the main lines if you like. The first 2 I've put them at super elevation angle, and the third one is a kind of passing loop stroke siding, which is just sitting flat, that's not on the elevation. And yeah, I've extended this round here as well, which I'll show you just now. What I'm going to do here is I've got the siding, if you like. It'll meet the main line from the incline, and it'll feed into this turnout, and then that third track will go along there into the TMD, and I'll also have a turnout coming from the third track to the second track to the first track, so trains can move from this one across and onto the incline and down. So the trains can move between tracks depending on where they're going. So I might have, for example, a goods train going on this line. It needs to get out of the way for an express train. It'll just cross the tracks into this large radius Y turnout, and it will sit nicely in that passing loop. Or coming from the other direction, obviously it does the same thing. It can be used as a kind of passing loop, and the gaps here between that track and that track are larger to allow me to fit the masts in there, as I did round the other side. So it's all kind of worked out based on the masts. That's why I needed such an area. Even a certain length there, or width if you like, so I could still put the masts in without them falling off the edge of the the embankment. So I hope to get this done in the next 2 or 3 weeks. This has just been cut today, it's not fixed down yet, but I can't fix it down until I've decided the route of these tracks. If I come around here I'll show you a bit better. Move a box out of the way. If you look at these 2 tracks here, they'll probably form round there, and then the third one will come there, and it will go to the TMD, but remember, obviously I just said they're going to be feeding into these tracks as well. Yeah, so, and that here will be a kind of open area of a retaining wall along there and there, kind of like it's set down. The main purpose of this is for access to the locos and cleaning. I don't want to have turnouts covered if I can get away with it, because one, you can't see if it's been fully switched, because sometimes it doesn't fully switch. If you fire the switch and it doesn't always go first time all the way across, so I want to make sure that was exposed. And again, if there's a derailment, it's going to happen on a turnout usually, so I wanted it easy access so I can retrieve trains. And also I've got my sensor there for my point, my lighting. I can't cover that. This will be kind of just a single girder with brick parapets, and this will be not this tunnel mouth but a tunnel mouth. Probably going to go for a plasticard one at this side of the layout. Focus my skills on plasticard if I've got any skills there. But yeah, and I've marked out where the overhead masts are going on this one as well. This siding here will not be, I've not got it down to be electrified, it's just the main line, not the passive loop. So yeah, I've just cut that today, been busy cutting that with my saw. That's how it looks now. It's starting to edge towards the TMD, which is a major project. Again, retaining wall there, and I'm going to have I think a kind of raised section across here, just where the beam is, where the truss, across to there, and I might have some sort of yard, builder's yard or something, just to give a scenic break. And round about where the signal is lying on the ground there, you'll have a kind of a kind of overbridge or something. Not a massive area. I'm not going to take up a massive area. Probably just around about here. Again, it just gives a scenic break and allows me to break the scenery from the embankment there onto the retaining wall with it, to make it look a nice transition. That's the thoughts anyway. You know how things change as you start to make your own projects. The thought that's in your head doesn't always translate to what goes down the baseboard. Space dictates that, doesn't it? So we'll see. That's really my track laying for this season, if you like. We're now nearly in April, and I'm nearly thinking to myself, in a couple of months it'll be too warm to work up here. So if I get to say here before the end of the attic season for this side of the summer anyway, that'll be doing well. I'll have laid quite a bit of track, to be honest. I've laid all the upper section this year, and that's a fair bit of track laying, and obviously planning takes the longest part, I tend to find. I can't fix this down until I've got all the turnouts put in place, because the motors are needing to go underneath first, so I have to place everything, drill the holes, fit the Pico turnout motors, test it all, and then put the track back down, and I get it all fixed in place. So it's a kind of back to front, front to back, kind of backward to front again kind of system I've got here. But the other solution to that is to cut big chunks out the actual baseboard so I can access them from underneath. But if I decide to change in the future, that will leave big patches to fill in. I don't really want to start, destroying these actual, baseboards. I'd rather, take my time with the raised sections and get it right before I fix things in place. But it's all going to mean there's a dropper ready to go down, etc. So it's all going to be wired. I've tried where I can to wire each of these sections of rail with droppers, just to allow easy running and reliable running, because it's not going to be easy to fix them because I can't get access and this is all covered in with retaining wall. Obviously some sections will come off for me to get maintenance, but it will be almost a sealed unit under here. So yeah, I've got to think and plan that ahead as well. So okay, it's coming on fine. I'm quite chuffed. I've nothing to run on these upper sections now. I've been testing the track, so it does work, and there's a slight elevation on these tracks, the left hand side one. But I only want a slight elevation, just as at the other side. I don't want the trains looking like they're, you know, tilting too much. Any questions, any comments, any suggestions? I'm always open for them. As you saw in the previous clip, the backboards on part of the layout have been removed. Now the reason I did this was I had to prepare them for the actual back scenes that I'm going to put on them, and so what I did was I filled in all the nail holes. I punched the nails below the surface with a nail punch, filled them in with some wood filler, sanded them down and gave them 2 or 3 coats of this undercoat primer. I just used a run-of-the-mill B&Q undercoat primer just to give it a kind of base for the back scene that I'm going to put on. And the back scenes I'm going to use are an ID back scene, but I'll talk more about that when I actually get them fitted. I've purchased 40 foot of them, which runs from that corner all the way around to that corner, which is, well, that's shorter than 40 feet, but I bought the 40 feet continuous section with modifications, but I'll go through that on the next video when I get some fitted, hopefully. I'm not going to rush it because you know, I don't want to make a mess of it. Basically, it's cost me a bit of cash, so you know, take my time and get it done correctly. I'm probably just going to mount them with some spray mount works. They come in 5 foot sections, so for example, you know, maybe spray up to the second support layer with the glue and just roll it and brush it out as I'm doing it. So you know, I've never laid a back scene before, but I suppose if you take your time, I might get somebody to give me a hand just to keep paper steady. Don't want to make a mess of it. So hopefully by the end of the season, if you like, these will be fitted to one side, maybe 2 sides of the layout. Okay, this month I'm going to start a kind of new part to my videos, and it's model of the month, I suppose, and I'm going to try and showcase in a wee bit more detail a different locomotive from my layout. I know I've gone through my class 47s and as a new loco's come along, I've kind of introduced it to the layout and, you know, let you see it running, but I don't really do loco reviews as such. But I thought, well, this is an important new arrival to the layout, so I thought I would do a quick run through with it. It's the BR Intercity Executive Class 43, the high-speed train, and this particular one is the dummy car. It's because you can see right through there the grills, which are very, very well done. The detail on these models is superb. I mean, I've got the blue-grey Western Region 1, and I've also got the blue-grey Eastern Region 1 on pre-order, which is due any time now. But this one was a real eagerly anticipated release from Hornby. For years I've been putting in my customer product suggestions emails to them that they should release this, even before I got back into the hobby, even as far back as Model Rail 2010 when I first went along and filled in what would you like to see forms, you know, at the Hornby stand. I was putting this livery, obviously, and along with the Swallow one, for the newly tooled HST, and finally Hornby have given us what we, or given me anyway, what I have been asking for. And by accounts of the quick sales of these things in some online shops, it's what a lot of people have been waiting for. This was quite a short-lived livery, coming in the maybe 82, 83, and really it was replaced pretty quick. I think 1986 was the first appearance of the Swallow liveried HST power cars. So you know, this didn't really become rolled out across the fleet during its lifetime, but it is an attractive livery. There's not big differences between that and the original blue-grey or blue-yellow one, because it's still got the yellow flash along the back there, yellow roof, and they've just kind of updated it. This is obviously the new Raspberry Ripple livery that they're kind of introducing at that time, and this is very well applied. Even the picking out the silver detail on the slide, etc., and the handles and the handrails individually fitted in white. We've got sprung doors, which I don't know if anyone really uses these, to be honest. Separately fitted handrails, panels, individually fitted wipers. Great detail in the cab, but again, I don't know how many people actually look into the cab and take time to appreciate the detail that's in there. This is kind of why you're paying 200 whatever pound for this model. It is a superior piece of detailing that I wish Hornby would roll out to their Class 91. Again, you can check my RM web thread on the Class 91 that I reviewed last month. But yeah, this is a beauty, and they've done it very well. This is my second one actually. The first one I had to go back due to a paint flaw. There was big bits of hair or dust in with the paint finish, and if it had been anywhere else apart from the yellow, I would have kind of lived with it, but it was sticking out like a sore thumb, in my mind anyway. So I thought, you know what, I'm not spending £200 to be underwhelmed by this. I need to get one that's top notch. So that went back and I ordered another one, and here it is. There's a thing on RM web about livery application error, and it surrounds the Intercity 125 and the BR logo. This on the real one, and in fact the box, was white. I can't see any records, photograph, etc. on the internet that shows this in silver, but Hornby have seen it in their wisdom to give us it in silver. Do you notice it? Well, it took somebody to point it out to me that it wasn't right. Does it detract from the livery? Not really. No, it's not a deal breaker for me. I mean, it's a beauty of a livery anyway, but I suppose you could be a wee bit cheesed off, to use a polite word, to say that the box is white and this is silver. I'm going to look at Hornby's last year's catalogue and see if the mock-up hand-painted version has been done in white. It's obviously just a small error in the manufacturing process. It doesn't detract from the overall look unless you're close up. I mean, if you look back here, it looks, it's such a light silver, it's actually almost, from a distance it looks almost white, but it's only when you put it next to the white band that you can tell that it's not. But yeah, I can see why some people are a wee bit annoyed. I did kind of roll my eyes and thought, another blunder, but we're just so, I'm so glad it's just here. I ordered this in the, it was the 13th of December 2013, according to Manhattan's pre-order. So to get it last week, a week ago, I was just glad to get the thing 15 or so months late. So yeah, if you've got one of these, let me know what you think. I know there's other guys on here. I've got the Swallow one, and I'm so envious of you. When they eventually re-release it, and please do it soon. I'll add that one to my collection as soon as I can, because the Swallow is the best livery this loco's ever worn. This is probably up there with the blue-grey, to be honest with you, the original. So this is in the top 3, if you like, of my liveries of all time on this particular loco. Okay, my second review is of this BR 2-ton brake van. This is a Hornby new release. It's in Dutch livery. This kind of livery comes, you know, too late for kind of my era. It came in very late 80s, which, you know, is the kind of cusp of the era I'm trying to depict. But I still went for it because I quite like the livery. And I've not got a brake van, and I'm going to run some mixed kind of goods traffic in the months and so to come when I see some good stuff that I actually like to have on the layout. So this is, as I say, this is the Hornby offering. It's a kind of update from the old ones I used to have when I was but a lad. It's got all the, obviously, the lamp hooks on it. It's got glazing in it, and never mind the original ones that I didn't have glazing. And she's been given a kind of a refresh. One thing it doesn't have, which is slightly disappointing actually, is sprung buffers, because the hoppers I've got, they've got sprung buffers, so I'm quite disappointed with that, but you know, it's only a small issue. So yeah, I'll probably have that running, and even just sitting aside, and it's, you know, it's quite a colourful addition, and the detail there is very well printed. And Hornby have done a pretty good job of the application, I have to say, of the livery. One thing they do tend to struggle with, but some issues, the yellow. It's quite a thin coating sometimes, because they've used a grey underprime. It can, you know, shine through a bit, and doesn't give you as clean a yellow as it could be. But you know, it's probably going to get weathered in the future anyway, so it's not a big deal. None of them stayed pristine like this.